Look at the wall right now. Find the nearest outlet and stare at those two slots for a second. One of them is bigger than the other, and that is not a manufacturing mistake, a random design choice, or something that just happened by accident. It is one of the simplest and smartest safety devices ever built into your home, and almost nobody has ever stopped to ask why it is there. By the end of this, you will know exactly what those two different size slots are doing every single time you plug something in, why one of them is connected to a wire that can genuinely hurt you, why the other one is the safe one, and why this tiny shape difference quietly changed how electricity moves through your house forever. Inside the wall behind that outlet, two wires are doing very different jobs. One of them is called the hot wire, and it is constantly carrying electricity toward whatever you plug in. The other one is called the neutral wire, and its job is to carry that electricity back out, completing the loop so the power can keep flowing in a circle. Here is the twist most people never think about. The hot wire is dangerous to touch even when nothing is plugged in and nothing is turned on because it is always live, always ready, sitting there with electricity waiting inside it like a coiled spring. So engineers needed a way to make sure that whenever you plug something in, it goes in the same way every single time. With the hot wire always connecting to the hot side of whatever device you are using and the neutral wire always connecting to the neutral side. The solution was beautifully simple. They made the slot connected to the neutral wire physically wider than the slot connected to the hot wire. Now, a plug can only go in one way. This is called polarization, and it sounds technical, but really it just means the plug has a correct direction. The same way a key only fits a lock one way around. If the kind of hidden logic sitting quietly behind everyday objects is something you find yourself wanting more of, subscribing is the simplest way to keep that feeling going. Why does that direction actually matter to you personally? Picture an old-style lamp with a screw-in light bulb. Inside that lamp, the metal screw threads on the socket connect to one wire, and the small metal tab at the very bottom of the socket connects to the other wire. If the hot wire ended up connected to those exposed screw threads instead of the safer tab deep inside, then anyone who touched the metal base of the bulb while changing it could get a shock, even if the lamp was switched off. By forcing the plug to go in only one correct way, the wider slot guarantees that the dangerous hot wire always ends up connected to the parts of your devices that are tucked safely away. And the neutral wire ends up connected to the exposed metal parts you are more likely to touch. Here is something most people never learn, and it genuinely surprises people every time. This polarized plug design did not always exist. For decades, plugs in American homes had two identical prongs that were exactly the same size, meaning you could plug something in either way with no protection at all. The change to different size slots only became standard in the middle of the 1900s, and even then it took years before manufacturers actually started making appliances with plugs that matched. And there is a strange twist to this story that still plays out in homes today. Some older buildings never got upgraded, and their outlets only have two equally sized slots. When someone tries to plug in a modern polarized appliance, the wider prong simply will not fit. Instead of calling an electrician, plenty of people quietly file down that wider prong with sandpaper or a metal file until it fits into the old outlet, completely undoing the safety design without even realizing what they have just removed. What started as a simple shape difference in a piece of plastic turns out to be a snapshot of an entire era of trial and error, half-finished upgrades, and quiet decisions made by people who never got any credit, all sitting silently in a wall behind your couch. The next time your eyes drift across an outlet, a light switch, or even a screw, it is worth remembering that almost everything around you was once a problem somebody had to solve, and the solution is still sitting there, hiding in plain sight, waiting for someone curious enough to notice it. And if that thought stuck with you even a little, subscribing is the easiest way to keep noticing things like it.